Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some 30 and 0 Capture the Flag gameplay. Playing with my good buddy Severed Void, fellow iHalo's owner. You might find it a bit weird that I take the sniper off of spawn. Usually Void takes sniper on every single map we play together, because he is a better sniper than me. But I decided to be greedy for once, and you'll see him chasing me here. I thought he was going to try and betray me, but then he didn't, so I just kind of failed and tried to no-scope him for no apparent reason. But yeah, anyway, I take the sniper, and I decided to be greedy, and for once, it actually benefits me. Usually when I pick up sniper, it just makes me try and play aggressive, and then I make mistakes, and I be stupid, and I get overconfident, etc, etc. I'm not a patient player. If you guys have ever watched my gameplay, you will know that I'm not a patient guy. If I see excitement in front of my eyes, if I see a bunch of people, I will run after them, and that is why I've never really been aligned to the competitive thing, because my thrill, my bloodlust, and my, you know, I kind of get one-track vision, tunnel vision, that's what I was looking for. I get tunnel vision when it comes to going for a kill. I don't think about anything else. I'm just like, right, I want to kill that guy. And I can't necessarily multitask and juggle the different elements of the game in my head. I can't think, oh, what's going on behind me right now? What's going on in front of me? What are my teammates up to? It's nothing I think of. I just think, that guy there has got to die, and he's going to die by my hands. And I think in one-on-one situations, that means I'm a pretty competent player. But when it comes to team play and controlling spawns and making sure I stay in the right area at the right time and working alongside my teams in a coordinated way, doesn't usually happen. I mean, I'm not bad, I'm just not the best. That's a Solomon quote there, or an Ubernick quote, whatever. Moving on. So, yeah, I'm not a patient player, and it kind of leads me into my topic loosely for today, which is regarding Halo 4 and why I enjoy it. I think more than ever, I thought that we were going to get to a point, especially with the CSR and the title updates, where people were going to stop complaining about Halo 4 and say, you know, we'll give Halo 4 the benefit of the doubt. Maybe for some people it wasn't what they were looking for and not what they enjoyed, but the new CSR and the new ranking system and the new movement speed, etc, etc, and the new weapon changes have made the majority of the community pretty happy. That's what I was hoping would happen. Obviously didn't, and I think, if anything, the community are more negative now than they ever have been. Like, I even saw BBK Dragoon commenting in one of his videos saying that, you know, he was a bit frustrated with where the game had gone and where it wasn't moving, etc, etc. So I just want to give you guys my perspective on the whole issue. And, you know, a lot of people who have watched my previous commentaries and maybe watched commentators similar to me, such as Solomon and Void, might think, why do you guys even enjoy this game? And I just want to give you my outlook on why I enjoy it. So I used to be a Call of Duty player. It's obviously not the start to the commentary that you were hoping for, but yeah, I used to be a Call of Duty player. I used to be big into that community. I used to want to make it as a big Call of Duty YouTuber. I used to be an idiot, is basically what I'm saying. I wanted to make it in Call of Duty. I was a terrible, terrible commentator at the time, but I absolutely fanboyed the main community, the scene analysis, the Woody's gamer tags, the etc, etc. Massively into that community is what got me into YouTube, and as a result, you know, I wanted to emulate their successes and try and do my own thing, but I failed. I was too arrogant at the time, I was a bad commentator, had a terrible mic quality, and I just wasn't critical enough of myself, so I couldn't really make the best videos that I was hoping to make anyway. So I used to be Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is regarded, even from the onset, you know, people within the Call of Duty community itself, people consider, you know, Call of Duty 4 to be the holy grail of that franchise, the thing that they enjoy the most. For the most part, you know, it was the most competitive, the most fair, and it had a very brief, minute amount of kill streaks. You only had 3 kill streaks that you could choose from, and even the max kill streak wasn't particularly that powerful. It was 3, 5, 7. You get 7 kills, you get a helicopter, 5 kills, you get an airstrike, 3 kills, you get a UAV. Fairly simple, fairly straightforward, and obviously in the later games they drastically changed that around, especially in Modern Warfare 2. Now, Modern Warfare 2 was the least competitive game of the Call of Duty franchise. It casualized way too many elements, and it had some severe imbalancing. I mean, there was a perk that essentially allowed you to infinitely replace your ammo for the rest of the game, which was basically a glitch, something they didn't intend to put in the game, and it was never patched. So you could basically get a grenade launcher and shoot it across the map for the rest of the entire game. Dumb as heck, yeah, everyone knew that. At the same time, some of these imbalances, I think, in Modern Warfare 2 led to a experience that, although was completely dumb, and it wasn't something that I could necessarily say I respected, or I respected the developers for some of the decisions they made, I probably had some of the most enjoyable times on that game out of any Call of Duty game. Like, it got my adrenaline going more than any other Call of Duty game had. Call of Duty 4, I didn't even particularly enjoy. Like, I thought it was good, and I thought it was fair, and I thought, you know, like, I understand how people like it, but it's just a bit too simplistic for me. It doesn't feel dynamic enough. Whereas Modern Warfare 2 definitely was dynamic, and not always for the right reasons, but it was still something that every game felt different, every game felt fresh and new, and as a pub stomping game, it was just bliss. And I'm a pub stomper, that's what I am, it's what I try and do. I'm like someone trying to go for high scores on an arcade board. I want to get the biggest scores in Halo 4 that I physically can, and try and get them consistently as well. So if you look at Halo 4, Halo 4 is what I would describe as the Modern Warfare 2 of the Halo franchise. Halo 4 is the game that has tarnished some significant Halo competitive elements that obviously, like, the core Halo fanbase are pretty annoyed about, pretty peeved about, because it's like, you know, you're tarnishing what Halo is about. Halo is meant to be the competitive franchise. We've got Call of Duty if we want to play casual games. Why are you turning Halo into this? And I understand. I totally see the point of view. But coming from someone who went from Call of Duty back to Halo 4 after Halo 3, you know, Halo 3 was competitive. I had the choice between competitive, playing the best competitive game that was out there on the console market at the time, Halo 3, or playing Modern Warfare 2. I had this choice of a competitive and a casual thing. And I enjoyed both of them, but there were elements to each game that I didn't enjoy. Like, for example, in Halo 3, you could get frustrated, and you had to be patient with that game. You had to be faithful. You had to be on your game 100% of the time, and if you went off the game for a couple of days, maybe your shot would go off, maybe your team play would go off, maybe your call-outs would go off. You had to know the call-outs, you had to know the ins and outs of the game, etc., or you would be severely punished for it. Modern Warfare 2, on the other hand, it was casualized to the point of frustration. It was like, well, is there any fairness to this game? Am I ever going to be rewarded for being a good player? Halo 4 kind of sits in the middle, and it meets this balance that, although a lot of other players don't like, they're used to what they saw in Halo 3 and love the competitive side, and then you have Call of Duty players who like the casual side, so they don't want the in-between. Me, on the other hand, I always loved both franchises. I loved them both, and I enjoyed them both. And I'm not going to say that. I still think this game is more Halo. And for me, I actually enjoyed Halo 3 probably more than Modern Warfare 2, so it's kind of what I want. And this game is basically right in the middle of the balance that I would want. It's, you know, some casualized elements to make it look like a Michael Bay Hollywood movie experience, where stuff is dynamic, off the chain, but a tad unfair at times, you know, no one's trying to deny that. But at the same time, it still retains this certain element of the better team usually wins. 9 times out of 10, the better team will win. If you're a good player, that's going to stand out on the battlefield. And, like, even Infinity Slayer, I think 9, maybe 8 times out of 10, the better team will still win. You know, there's certain imbalances which will make it completely frustrating for a good, solid team. Like, especially if 2 good, solid teams come up against each other, and it's like, oh, well, we're so close, but just one little imbalance within the game is going to set this game apart, and is going to, you know, ruin the competitive edge of that. But that's just something that I personally, as a player, am not following, you know. I'm just more for the fun experience. And for me, this game gives me enough of a competitive edge to keep it fair, like, not fair, but, like, make me feel rewarded for winning the game, and then enough of a dumb edge to make it constantly entertaining and dynamic. I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. I have been Modest Major. Thank you for watching. Peace.